Welcome to Data Analysis Scholarship course. This is Cohort 5. This is Cohort 2, rather, Day 5 of Data Analysis Scholarship course. Welcome, 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 welcome. Let me know if you can hear me. My name is Franklin. Tonight we are going to be delving into Excel functions and formulas. We are going to be delving into Excel functions and formulas. We are going to be going deep into formulas and functions in Microsoft Excel. To every data analyst, to every analysis, financial analysis in Excel, formulas and functions remains the backbone of data analysis in Excel. So tonight we are going to be looking at the math and start function. We are going to be looking at the test function. We are going to be looking at the logical function. By tomorrow we will complete the formula and function. By tomorrow, why we want to do extensive training, extensive teaching on Excel formulas and functions. Once again, you are welcome to tonight's section. You are welcome to tonight's section. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see my screen. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see my screen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Excel formulas and functions. That's what we have tonight. We are going to ensure that it's made as easy as possible. These are functions you must know. These are functions you must know as a data analyst and one who want to scale in data analysis and in Excel. Let me know if you can hear me, and let me know if you can see my screen. Danny, you are welcome. You are welcome. You are welcome. Let me know if you can hear me, you can see my screen. Adeyemi, good to have you. Good to have you. Good to have you. Your name, your scholarship, and your location, your scholarship ID and your location. And if you are just joining us, let's do quickly as our tradition is. Head over to the group, head over to the scholarship group once more, and let everyone tag everyone, let them know we are live. Let everyone know we are live. Just tag as many as possible. Let everyone know we are live. Let me know if you can see my screen. Much appreciated. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see my screen. It seems network is a bit messy. Now, kindly let me know if you can hear me. Let's head over to the scholarship group, please. Let's quickly head over to the scholarship group. Tag as many as possible. I only share this link of tonight's session to the scholarship. is fluctuating from here. I don't know whether it has challenge on the network. My network is not kind of stable. I need to be sure that it's stable. I need to ensure that it's stable. My God. Let me know if we are good to go, if you can hear me clearly, if it's stable from your end. Let me know, drop in the chat, drop in the comment. Let me see our chat, our comment, if it's stable, so that we can quickly delve into what we have tonight. My network tonight is a bit messy. Think we had a bit of rain this evening, so I feel that might be the challenge. Please, I need us to confirm if it's stable, if you can hear me, you can see my screen, my voice is audible, we are good to go. Let me see in the comments so that we can quickly delve in. Abeyemi, thank you for that feedback. Can someone else? I need more 2-3 persons to confirm you can hear me, you can see my screen. All right, Suliat, I can hear. Emmanuel, hearing you clearer now. Is stable now. Beautiful. Okay, let's quickly delve into what we have for tonight. Welcome to Data Analysis course. Today we will be looking at Excel formulas and functions. And the training is facilitated or brought to you by Solomon Institute of Tech and Management. I'm your facilitator, Mr. Franklin, a seasoned data analyst. So without further ado, let's quickly delve into Excel and start to do justice for what we have tonight. All right, let's quickly delve in to do justice to what we have for tonight. Okay. Now let me know what you can see, what is before you on the screen. Let me know the data set or what you can see on your screen right away. Let's do that quickly. Let me know what you can see, what's on your screen. Let me know. What can you see right there on your screen? I need us to confirm so that I know we are all on the same page. Also, let's go to the scholarship group, let them know we are stable now, we have commenced, we have started. Anyone that is out should rush down. We are starting immediately. Let's use a minute or two to do that. Please. All right, thank you, ABC Superstar, beautiful. Let's do that within a minute. Let's head back to the scholarship group again. Let them know we are on now. We are on. Please help me to do that. I will appreciate it. Much appreciated. Let's rush to the scholarship group. Type we are back. We are stable. We are on. Let's do that so that we can quickly proceed. Excel formula and function is what we have tonight. And I have grouped tonight's functions and formulas into different categories. If you can look below it here, you can see under my sheet, you have this sheet named to be math and start function. We have the test function. We have the logical function. We have the lookup and the array function. We have the date and time function. We have error handling function. These are functions. These are Excel functions. And under what I grouped them tonight, math and start test and all that. And tonight I expect to finish math and start test function and logical function. That is my goal tonight. Please, if you have done that in the scholarship group, please type in the comment down. If you have helped me to inform in the scholarship group that we are back, we are stable now, just type in the comment down. Please, let's type in the comment down. If you have done that, type in the comment down. Let's do that so that we can rush. We are already behind. We are already behind schedule. If you have typed in the scholarship group, those of us that are part of the scholarship and in the group, if you have done that, please drop in the comment down. Just go there, tell them we are back. Tag everyone, we are back, we are live now. Let them know that we are on. Let them know we are on, please. I need us to do that. Let's bombard the group once again so that we can start. I'm giving a minute to that. Thank you, I'm much appreciated. If you have done that, kindly drop in the comment here in this live chat, in this live session, drop in the comment down. If you have done that, kindly drop in the comment down. If you have done that, kindly drop in the comment down. Just go there, type we are back, we are started now. Drop there, we are back, we are on, whatever you can type, let them rush down once again. And if you have done that quickly, please drop in the comments down so that we can start. I need to be sure that everybody is up to stage and we carry everybody along. Thank you, Ayomide. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Emmanuel. All right, let's proceed. Now, tonight we are going to be looking at math and start functions. And under the math and start functions, I have grouped it into 15 functions. Into 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, into 15 functions, under which we tag that math and start functions, that is this function. And I'm going to be making use of this data set. And because of that, what I will want to do, I will want to move this, and this to this point so as to be closer to what we have here. So to do that, you already know under the keyboard shortcut and the things that I taught us earlier. Let me highlight these two. Hold Control, hold Shift, press the down arrow to highlight the entire range, Control backspace to return up. And then what I will do is I will come here, click hold, then hold Shift and drag. So when I come here, this is where I want it to be. I release my cursor. So to shift this forward and bring this forward here. So here I'm going to, let's bring it back like this. All right, now having rearranged this, let me move forward so that we can see the stuff we are working with. Tonight we are starting with the sum. Every analyst, every Excel user, the first function you must learn, the first function you must master is the ability to use sum. Now my screen is clearer, drum of legend, my screen is clear. What you need to do is increase the quality on your, go to your YouTube setting, increase the quality. Mostly you might be on 144p. Just take it to 360 or 4 something or 720. Any of them will make it clear. It's very clear from my end. It's very clear from my end. All right. So the first function, as an analyst, as a Excel user, as a data analyst, financial analyst, whatever you are doing, an educationist, a researcher, you have to master first is the sum function. And sum function is an aggregate function. You need to get the total. When you talk about the total, that's the sum function. And to calculate that in Excel, you just say equals to, let's say for example, we want to know that we want to find out the total revenue. The total revenue generated. The total revenue generated. We can say equals to, we type sum, come over to this place, double click. Once you double click, you come over to this place. Now, remember when I taught us Control Shift down arrow to highlight the entire range. Imagine if we didn't know that and you click to drag down. That will take you a whole lot of time, and that will also is stressful. So what you can do is once you click here, you hold Control, hold Shift, and press the down arrow. That way you highlight the entire range. That's down to 5,000 something. So after that, you press Control backspace to return to the active cell. That is the sum function where we calculate the total revenue. The total revenue, and you hit enter. And that we have the value. And this you are seeing here is not error. When you see hash like this, it's not error. It's simply because the value is not up to the cell width. So you come here, double click. It will give it the exact width. And that is the sum. Now let's say, for example, we also want to know our average sales. Let's say this is our monthly sale, our annual sale. We want to know our average sales for the year. This is the total sale we have, and we want to calculate what's our average revenue or the mean. To know the average or the mean, what we do is we say equals to the same way average, then double click here, come here, the same stuff, Control Shift down, Control backspace, and here we hit enter. Then our average revenue becomes 287,000. Now, in our basic currency formatting, let's say we are working, let's say this is not in dollar, it's in naira, as based on our average currency formatting. We can highlight the two, hold Control, hold Shift, press the down arrow, Control backspace, get over to this number format, come to this, or you press Control 1. Remember our keyboard shortcut we just learned on Tuesday. Then you come to currency. Under currency, you can disable the decimal places. We don't need it in decimal places. That's to be a 0. And then we come over to the symbol. Here we search for our Naira a symbol. You will get them here, Edo, Fola, EPP, all of these are the same. So let's say we select this and then we hit enter. Now, automatically that is in the Naira format. So if we come here and if we come here and do that again, let's say, and let's do that. Okay, this is currency. I need to, sorry, I need to format this one. Also in Naira, it's in dollars. I need to format it in Naira. Okay, now that is, this median is to show us the middle value. The median is to show the middle value. So if we calculate, we say equals to median, we come here and we say, we double click, median is to, we have to also highlight this, Control Shift down. And median is a statistical function, to get the middle value. Remember when we did introduction to statistics, we talked about the descriptive statistics, and then we talked about measures of central tendency, where we talk about mean, median, mode. All right, so we hit enter. Now this is the middle value. That's the median value. Then mode is what we can call, mode is the most occurrence. If you have, mode is to calculate the most occurrence on the data set. So let's say we want to calculate single mode. Now what single mode is, if we want to, you know, in analysis, if I have one and here I have two and here I have three, and then let me say I drag them down like this. No. Control Z. Now let's say we have this, and if we want to calculate the mode here, you know that one, two, three, one occurred 3 times, two occurred 3 times. So this 1 and 2 becomes the mode. 1 and 2 becomes the mode. That's for the multiple mode. But here we want to calculate the single mode. We want to calculate single mode. So what do? We say equals MO, that is this. We double click on this. It will also ask us the range. Here, let's use the units. Let's use the units so to know the most occurrence. And then we hold Control hold Shift, press the down arrow, Control backspace to return where we are, and we hit enter. Here is telling us that 3 is the one that occurs the most. The number 3 on this particular data set is the one that occurs the most on this data set. Okay, now let's look at the multi-mode. We say equals mode. Please, if I'm fast, you drop in the comment, tell me that I'm fast, I can slow down. If I'm too fast, you can let me know in the chat, I can slow down, but these ones are straightforward. They are very, very straightforward, easy to understand. All right, now for the mode, for multiple mode, we want to see if we have multiple mode here. We also look at this, Control Shift down, Control backspace, enter. We don't have, it returns that. So in a case where we have, it will return it. All right, now we move from mean median mode to, this is mean median mode, this measures of central tendencies and math functions, down to statistics. Now what we have here is standard deviation. Let's say we want to calculate the standard deviation. Standard deviation is how spread. How spread apart is the values from the mean. How spread apart are the values from the mean. And let's say we are looking at that from our revenue. So we can calculate our standard deviation. Now, please, I need to make certain thing clear here. This, when you see this standard deviation dot x, this x simply means sample. That means if you are using the sample of the population, this is the one to use. But if you are using the entire population, the entire data set, you are going to be using this one we have. You are going to use the function of this dot p. The p stands for population. Please, let's get that. And in this data set, we are not using a sample of this data set. We are using the entire value. So we are going to be using the p, not the x. We need to get that very, very clear, very important. So unless in the data set you are taking a sample of that data set and then you want to get the standard deviation from it, you use the standard deviation x. Or you from what you are working on is a sample. What you did, the analysis you did, the data you collected, is a sample data set. Then you can use the x. So what do we do here? We say equals st. Now you see this comes up. Don't try to use these ones. These ones are not currently used, unless if you are using Office 2010, which I don't expect any of us to be using. Unless you are using Office 2010 or Office 27, then you make use of these ones. So for now, we are going to use this. We are going to use this. All right. Now, once that is done, we get over to revenue, click, then Control Shift down arrow to highlight the entire range, Control backspace to return. We hit enter. This becomes our standard deviation. This is our standard deviation. Variance was what I explained earlier, the spread apart. Okay. Variance and standard deviation are what we refer to as measures of spread. Measures of spread, they are what we call measures of spread or measures of dispersion, which is under descriptive analysis or descriptive statistics. Okay, to calculate the variance, the same thing, we type here, you type VAR, VAR. We type VAR, VAR. Please give me a minute. Please, let's confirm if I'm audible, if you can hear me, please. I had a bridge network. Please, can we confirm? Okay, I didn't even say go ahead. Go ahead. All right, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Now, once we have this, the same process, that's why here I'm going to be a bit fast. Then Control backspace. We are starting with from the basic formulas. These are basic formulas. We are starting from the smaller formulas and moving up. So we hit enter. Here we have variance. This is our variance for the population. If you want, you can remove this and use this one for the sample and hit enter, you get the same value. All right, now the next is count. Count. Now let's say you want to know the number of sales. You want to count the number of distinct sales made. This is a distinct sale. This customer bought 7 units. It's just one sale. Though the customer bought 7 units of a product, but that's one sale. This is also one sale. So if you want to count the distinct sales, the distinct number of sales or the distinct units sold, you use count. Please, I need to explain this. Count counts only numerical values, only sales that has numerical value in it. That's what count does. Count counts only sales that has numerical value in it. Okay, I will be mentioning what I'm picking. All right, I will be mentioning what I'm picking. Okay, now for count, like I'm explaining, count is used to count cells that has numerical value in it. Any cell that like this now, it has numerical value in it, it will count it as 1. If it doesn't have, it will not count it. So for example, let's take for example, if I say equals to count, I type CO, then you will look at this count here, you double click on it, and once you double click on it, let's say I come under product. The product is alphabets. The product values are alphabets, characters. So what I need to do is just to click on it, hold Control Shift down arrow to highlight the entire range under that product, then Control backspace to get back up where we are. And when I hit enter, you'll see automatically it gives me 0. Why? Is it that there are no values, there are no characters or values in the cells? No, there are, but the challenge there is that all these are non-numeric values. They are numbers. So let's change it to another to units and see what we have. So when we put here equals to count and then double click here, what I will come here to select this, hold Control, hold Shift, press the down arrow to highlight the entire range, Control backspace to get up where we are. And when I hit enter, you automatically see that it counts the entire cells. So this shows that we have distinct 5,630 sales. Irrespective, it's not summing the values, it's counting. Each cell it sees a numeric value, it counts it as 1. Provided the numeric value is there, it counts it as 1. If I come here and put 0 and hit enter, it counts it as 1 because it's numeric value. So, but here, if I press Ctrl C, we have this. But now let's take for example here, I put apostrophe and put enter. You will see this is no longer number. Even though you are seeing it as 5, but Excel is seeing it as a character. Because remember when I showed us a trick in using apostrophe to write 080, that Excel no longer sees it as number, it sees it as a character. And in Excel, characters, alphabets, whatsoever that is not numeric aligns to the left, while numeric values aligns to the right. So with this, you see here is no longer 5,630, is 5,629. So let me Control C to get it back. So that's for count. Count counts numeric sales, the number of sales that has numeric value in them. That's what count does. Then count A. Count A is the opposite of count blank. Count A is the opposite of count blank. count sales that are not blank, whether numeric or non-numeric, provided that that cell is not blank. That's what count A does. So let's check it. We use equals to COU. That's the second one. That's count A. Press tab. Now if I highlight this and say Control Shift down, Control backspace to return and hit enter, it will give me the same value. Now let me do the same thing I did previously here. Let me put apostrophe and hit enter. You see that this one reduced to 29, whereas this still remains. So whether it's alphabet, whether it's character, whether it's text, whether it's number, count A counts it, provided that cell is not empty. So let's take, for example, here I remove this. Now you see that is where we now have this to be 5629. So I guess that is clear. I guess that is clear. All right. All right. Let's proceed. Let's proceed to count blank. Now count blank, I'm going to, let me just use autofill function to replicate the same formula here. It's the same thing, but the challenge here now is that I'm going to change this function to count blank. Instead of count A, I'm going to select count blank. And then once I select count blank, press tab to select the function count blank. So once I did that, I hit enter. So what you see here is giving me 0, which means on this there is no blank cell. So in data cleaning, you can use this to know whether there is a blank cell in your data set. If there is, you will see a number 1, 2, 3, or any number of blank cells you have. So paraventure, let's take for example, I come over to this and delete it. Okay, this is not the one we use. The one, this is the price, is on price. So now let's say I delete this. Automatically you see it counts it 1. We have 1 blank cell now. So that's what that does. Okay, now the next is to calculate the mean. To calculate mean. Mean is a math function, the minimum value. The minimum value in this data set, we want to know the minimum revenue. On these revenues, on these sales we made, we want to know the minimum revenue or the minimum unit sold. We want to know the minimum unit sold. So we can come here and say equals to mean. We have this, and then we come to unit sold, Control Shift down, Control Shift down, Control backspace, and then we hit enter. So the minimum value is 1. Of course, there is not, we don't have 0 there. So let's take for example, I want to know the minimum revenue. Now, let's say I want to know the minimum revenue. This is, the unit is on column I, and the revenue is on column K. So what I just need to do is to come here, remove I and put K. If I remove I and put K, and come here, remove I and put K, that's all. It moves from here to here instead of removing it and dragging it down again. These are another trick, another shortcut you can use to maneuver your work. Instead of deleting this, then coming to revenue to drag it down, you can just note the column name. This is column I, this is column K. Remove the I and replace with K, and remove the K here, remove the I, replace with K. The row number remains the same, and you hit enter. So it gives you the minimum revenue. The minimum revenue here is 5,280. Now, the same way is for maths. So let me drag it forward. That is what we have. So why do we have 0 here? I will be explaining this when we move into real-time project. Why we have 0 here is simple. When I move this forward one step, this one move one step forward. So this is under this category. If I double click here, you will see what is looking at is under this category, which is not what we want. So let me change it back to K, and then let me change this back to K as well. And then, because we are looking for max, not mean, maximum value, that's the highest revenue. We want to know the highest revenue on our sales record. Let me put this and enter max, hit enter. What do we have here? Okay. There is a mistake I made here. So let me put that back, and then that's max, hit enter. So the highest revenue is 999,910. That's the highest revenue. That is the highest revenue. Okay, moving forward, we go to large. Now, what do we use large for? Large is also another function that we can use to calculate the highest revenue, or we want to know the second to the highest revenue, or the third to the highest revenue. We use large. Second to highest revenue, third to highest revenue, fourth to highest revenue, fifth to the highest, seventh to the highest, stuff like that. We use large. Small is also if we want to know second to the least, second to the last, second to the last, third to the last, fourth to the last. We use small function. So let's see how we can make use of it. We say equals to large. So this comes out with tab, and then what is the array we are looking for? That is the revenue. We hold Control, hold Shift, press the down arrow, Control backspace to get where we are. So here is, once you highlight the range you are looking for the large, you put comma. Now, once you put comma, the K value here is asking you, are you looking for the highest? If you are looking for the highest, you put 1. If you are looking for the second to highest or second to the largest, you use 2. If you are looking for third, you put 3, and so on and so forth. So let's say in this case, we are looking for the second highest. I will type 2, and then hit enter. So it shows us this is the second to the highest. If you look at it, they are very close. They are very close. It's just 110 naira, stuff like that, increase. So this is the second to the highest, or second to the maximum revenue generated. All right, then small. Small is, we use small as I explained, so we say equals to M. So we have this, that's the small function. The same way we have is to select the array, which is, to select the array is the entire range. So Control Shift down arrow is to highlight the entire range. Control backspace is to get back here, then put comma. Here, if we want to know second to the last, we also put 2. If you want to know third to the last, you put 3. That is your choice. Then I hit enter. So this is second to the last of this function. This is second to the last. All right. Then next is rank. Next is rank. Now, this will not make sense. Rank will not make sense based on the data set we have. I will show us rank when we get to work on resource sheet. That's what teachers use to grade students after recording their total exam score, average total scores, and then grading them to rank them from first, second, third, fifth, and so you use this rank function. It makes it very, very easy. And the beauty of it is that if there are two students that are on the same, two students on the same score, the rank will rank them the same. If the rank will show that they are, it may be two students came second, they have the same score, the same average rank, shows you that they are both on the same rank. So that way it eliminates that. But large will display just the only one out of them. If two students came first, large will show the person, or large will display that is just only one. The first person to reach that, it will show you on that, but ranking is used to rank students' grade. Okay, that's on that. So please, definitely we will see this when we begin to look at our real life project on student results. We are going to work on series of projects, student results, payrolls, series of projects. When we get there, we will begin to see what I'm talking about. Series of projects. We are going to be designing automations, automating entry forms, and going deeper to analysis. We are taking it from scratch gradually, so as to carry everybody along. So here is the math and start functions. These are functions we group under Excel as math and start functions. Kindly let me know if you are still with me. If you are still with me, are you following? Drop in the chat, I'm following. If you are still with me here, if you are understanding what I'm saying, drop in the chat, following. Drop in the chat, following. If you understood this first part of functions and formulas, which I expect everyone to understand, but if you don't, let me know the challenge. We are about to move to the test function. We are about to move to the test function. If you are following, drop in the comment, I'm following, and that you are understanding what we are doing. Thank you, Ayomide. I need one more response. I need one person's. I need more response, one more response from us. Thank you. Thank you, Ayomide, for being active. I'm following in the chat. All right, I just said I'm following. All right, beautiful. Now we are moving to the next functions, which we call the test function. Now we are moving to the test functions. Now under test function, we have, under the test function, we mostly use test function for data cleaning and data management. For data cleaning and data management, to ensure that our data is well structured, well presented, well cleaned, ready for analysis, we make use of test functions. So here we have function like trim, proper, upper, lower, and then down to clean. From here down to clean. So here I have also mapped out 15 test functions that as an analyst you are going to be making use of. Whether now or tomorrow, anytime, any day, provided you are working on large data and you get data from different sources, especially you get data from the internet, from database, as a CSV file, as a test file. When you get data from different sources, you need to clean it. You need to clean it, and sometimes you might not need to take them to Power Query before you do that. There are certain things you might do using these functions. We are still going to learn Power Query, how to clean data using one of Excel machine that is very powerful in data cleaning and automation. Okay, now for trim, what trim does is to remove unwanted spacing. What we use trim to do is to remove unwanted spacing. So if there is unwanted space, let's say like this, like here now you see blue, there is space, unwanted space here before South. And you come here, you see Queensland, you see there is unwanted space in before start typing this. So all these unwanted spaces, as we can see here, that's what we like here, that's what we used trim to remove. So let's see how we can do that. So we come here and say equals to, we type TR and we locate the trim tab. So what text do you want to trim? Let's say we click on this. For now, we know that most likely it doesn't have any space. Then we hit enter. So here we have that to be. Now remember, let's use this autofill function to drag down. So once we drag it down, you notice this space is no longer here. We notice that this space is no longer here. As we can see now, this space here is no longer here. Now let's go down and for this one as well, let's look at this one. You see that's not available here. So we use it to remove unwanted space. That's what we use trim for, to remove unwanted space. Okay. Now, proper, what does proper do? Proper is more like saying stuff to be in proper case. More like you want it to be in proper case. Proper case means the first letter will be in cap letter, other small letter, like this. This is in proper case. Like this is in proper case. So what do? We say equals to proper. Okay, then we double click here, and which one do we use now? Okay, let's check on Yang, then we click on it, hit enter. Automatically you see instead of being capital here, is now the first letter is capital, others, we can double click down, you see that others here first start, even this one that is all capital letter, it changes to small first cap letter, and that's proper. We use it to ensure that our data set is well written. Let's say the manager wants it to be in proper case, not in capital letter, but rather let it be the first letter will be capital, others will be small letter. So we make use of proper. Then what is upper? Upper is, yes, uppercase, lowercase, and that. So we can say equals to UPP, then double click here. This is, okay, let me use this one and hit enter. Automatically you see that is in cap. Then if we double click, now please, another shortcut, another short trick in Excel, instead of dragging this down, instead of dragging it down to fill, this will take me time. Instead of dragging it down to fill, it will take me time. It will take me time. So what do I need to do? Here, if I come here, okay. It will not. So let me drag this. So next time if I double click this, it will reach down. Okay, there is something I wanted to show us. I will still show us again. Now, I will not need to be dragging this down. I will just need to use the autofill function here. So that way I don't need to be stressing myself dragging it down. Okay, now as we can see, all these are in capital letter. This one that is in capital letter already also in capital letter. That's for the uppercase. For lowercase, we have here equals to, we can say lower, double click this, let's say this, hit enter is in lowercase. Or if I double click here, the rest will get filled up. So I don't need to drag them down. Okay, that is for trim, that is for upper, that is for proper, rather upper, lower. I'm trying to see to get to logical function this night. That is my focus. That is my focus. Okay, the next is concat. The next is concat. The word concat or concatenation, if you are using Excel 2010, 2007, I think 2013 thereabout, is concatenation or concat. But 2010 is concatenation. Now, if concat or concatenation is where you want to join two or more cells or letters together, two or more cells, you want to join two or more cells together, two or more cells. Let's say our manager comes and said, please, I don't want the first name and the last name to be on separate cells. I want them on separate cell. I want them to be inside one cell. That's John Yang to be inside one cell. So what do? Instead of coming to copy this and carry this and paste in the same cell, that way is manual. It will take your time. It will take our time. Now what you just need to do is to use the concat function. So what do? We come here and we say equals to concat. You see what I'm saying? Concatenate is no longer useful. It's no longer useful for letters Office 2019, 2021, 24, Office 365. What we use is concat. So you double click on concat. Now when you click on that, you select this. Once you click on the fourth cell, you put comma. The second cell, you select this. If you want to join this also, you put this. If you want to join this, you put, depending on the number of tests you want to join or cell. So once that is done, you hit enter. Once that is done, you hit enter. Now you can, if you notice, you see that these tests, they are not separate. They are all together. They are joined together. If you notice, they are joined together. And we want it in a way that it will have space, like John space Yan. So how do we get it to do that? Now let's get back into our function. So to get it to do that, you come after this, you come here. The next you do is to put double quotation. Now when you put double quotation, if you put double quotation, you put space. Remember, space is a character. In Excel, space is a character. In database, in any spreadsheet, in any analytical software, any analytical tool, space is regarded as a character. So when you put in character, space, when you type space, you close it with quotation, and then you put comma. And I need to state this. While using Excel or any database or any spreadsheet application, whenever you are putting in a function, a formula, and you want to type in a character or alphabet or a text in that function or in that formula, put it under double quotation. Space is a character. If I want to declare an alphabet or a text, a particular value, a particular character, I will have to put it under double quotation. But if you are typing a numerical value, if you are entering a numerical value number, you don't put it under double quotation. Very, very important. You need to take note of this, especially those of us that are new in data analysis. Some of us already know about this. Okay, once that is done, you open quotation, space, close the quotation, put comma, and then you hit enter. Now you see that there is a space here. You see there is space here. Now, some of us might say, okay, this is not okay. Now make it more like to be proper. How do we do that? There is what we can call nested test function. That is what we call nested test function. Nested test function is just bring function with a function embedded in another function. That's nested. So we can use it with any function nested. When a function embeds with another function, that's what we call nested test function. So here we just need to come here in front of this, put proper. So double click this. What we are saying to Excel, after you have joined them together, make them to be proper, to put them in proper stuff, and that, let's see what that will give us. So let me close this and hit enter. Now you see what we have here now. It's now properly done. This gives us John Yang. So we can combine two tests together. We can combine two tests together. So that way you can put proper to this one and then use concat anyway, but this works best for me. So this way you don't need to first do this before doing this. You don't need to first make it proper and then join it together. That way it takes you a bit time and it's kind of stressful. All right. So once that is done, if I double click it down, we see that other ones take care of themselves, both proper, both concat, like we can see here, it takes care of it. That makes it faster for us to work with. Now, let's take for example, let me explain something here. Let's say now that yes, you have joined them together and you have made the proper, you have joined it, you have put proper. Now, what if you say, okay, I don't need this anymore. Let me delete it. I don't need it anymore. So I have to delete it, for example. Okay, they are merged. Okay. Let's say I want to delete it, control. Let me delete the value. I don't need it anymore. Control backspace. Let's see what we have. Let's delete. I don't need it anymore. I press delete. Now you see what happened. Automatically it affects whatever we did here, because this whatever we are doing here is a function of what we have here. So if this disappear, this also will disappear. Why? Because this is the source of this. Whatever we are having here, Excel is seeing it as a formula, not as value. Even though you are reading a text, what Excel is seeing is a formula. And this formula is from here. So once there is nothing here, here becomes empty. So we need to take note of that. So let me Control C. Now how do we correct this? That after I'm done, I can delete this comfortably and nothing will happen to this. That after I'm done, I can delete this comfortably and nothing will happen. So let me use the concat now. Here what I will do on this is that I will hold Control, hold Shift, press the down arrow to highlight the entire range, and then press Control C to copy. Ctrl C to copy. Now, once I copied, instead of me pasting, I will not paste it straight. What I will do, I will go to my clipboard. Under clipboard, I will go to paste. But instead of clicking the up one, I will click on the down one that has paste with a down arrow. Once I click on it, there is this menu, a sub menu that appears. This sub menu, all of them have their different function, but the one I'm interested in is this, the one that says values. This one here, paste as values. So when I do that, when I select on it, you will notice it's being pasted, but not as values. Now watch. If I click on this, Excel now sees it as Joyan. But if I click on this, Excel is still seeing it as a formula. Now, let me delete this. You see that these ones that are still seen as formulas goes away, whereas this that I now pasted as values remains. So when you want to clean, after you have done your setup or your cleaning and that, you paste as values, not retaining it as the formula you use, so that when you delete the source, this is the source that gives this. When you delete the source, this one will remain. I hope that is clear. All right, let's proceed. I know why I'm taking time to explain all this in details. I know why I'm taking time to explain all this in details. If you are following, let me know, drop in the chat. I'm following. If you are following, drop in the chat, I'm following. I'm waiting for us. All right, beautiful. Beautiful. Someone said, carry on. All right, now we move to test function. Test function, we use the test function in Excel to convert our date or number into a format. If we want to convert it to a date kind of format, we use the test function. Now let me, saying it might not really be this clear. All right, I trust it following, Ayomide following. All right, beautiful. We are all with me. Okay, now the test function, let's say this date, I want it to display in a format where you can say 7th January, so. It writes it as an alphabet, not as numeric date like this. So what do we use? We use the test function to convert numeric value or text into a certain format. Now we are going to be looking at date format, the date format here. So we say equals to TE, we have the text there, I press the tab button, which we have learned in our shortcut key. Then I will click on dates. That's G7, put comma. Now what format do I want? In that format, I'm going to put it under double quotation. Remember, whenever you want anything to be in character, in strings, in text, in fact, in database, in analysis, whenever you are talking about anything that is not numeric, mostly we call it string. When it's alphabet and character, we call it strings. Alphabet and character, we call it strings. But if there are other formats, we have currency formats, we have date formats, we have that. So those are whenever you are declaring anything that is not numeric, you put it under double quotation. Okay, now here I'm going to put DD, that is The DD on is dates, days, comma, let me put my comma space, and then I will put MMMM. This is for months. Space, I put D again. I know why I'm doing that. You will see what it gives us, comma, and then let me give space and then put Y. That's year. So here we have days, month, and year. So I close the quotation. That is the test format, the test function. Now when I hit enter, now you see what we have here. It didn't just give us the month, the year, the month and the day and the year. It gives us the day. What is the name of that day? The name of that day, it gives us that to be Wednesday. That if you go to your calendar now and search 1970, search April 8, 1970, you will see that that day is Wednesday. So that is what this does. Now, if I remove this, watch, if I remove this and hit enter, it shows me that is Wednesday. But I'm not knowing, it didn't give me what day is that. Is it on the 8th? Is it on the 9th? Is it this? It didn't give me that. But here, if I come over to this place and remove this, and that I needed only the month and the year. If I need only the month and the year, I don't want to know the day, just the month and the year, I hit enter. It will tell me that is April 1970. So that is very, very important. If I come here and give space and put DD and hit enter, it will give me that is April 8. 08/1970. So this test function helps to convert this date format into a test format that we can put up like this. Let's say we want our date to be in this format, not really in this format. We can use the test function. We can use the test function. All right. If you are with me on this live, I will implore us to hit the like button. Let's do that if you haven't done that. If you have done that, much appreciated. If you are yet to do that, kindly hit on the like button on this live session. Thank you. If you are yet to subscribe, I will encourage you to do so that you get updated once we brought up different trainings and opportunities on this channel. Okay, now that is the test. The next is learn. The next is learn. Now, what do we use learn for? Learn tells us the number of character in a particular cell. That's what we use learn for. The number of character in a particular cell. The number of character in a particular cell. So if I double click this down, we see the same effect. Okay. Now the length shows us or tells, and let's see how we can do that. Here we want to know how many characters are there in this particular cell. Sometimes the character, like I said, is not the alphabet or the letters. Both space, comma, whatever, apostrophe, anything there is a character. Get that clear there. Okay, now I can say equals to LE, that's to select the lane. We put the tab there, and then let me click on this Queensland here and hit enter. Automatically it tells us that is 10 characters, which is correct. If you count the number of alphabets here, that's 10. Okay, now let's double click this down here. Now when we double click down, let's look at this Queensland here. Now can you see this? Can you see this? you see that this now becomes 14. Why? Because there are spaces, and the number of spaces there is 4. How do we know? Because 14 minus 10 shows us there are four spaces here, and that's an unwanted space which we removed when we did the trim function here. So with the len is telling us that this has 14 characters. So the number of spacing, each space represents 1 character. Second space, second character. So it's giving us 14. Now another one is this. Look at this here. It's showing us 16, which means that its number of space in here is 6, which shows that there are more spaces here than this. So that's what len helps us to do. Calculate the number of characters in a particular cell. I hope that is clear. Okay, let's proceed. Now the next is left function. Left function return the leftmost character or text in a particular cell. Now let's take, for example, I want to, let's say from the country here, I want to use their first 3 letters as initial. I want to use their first 3 letters as initial, for example. And then I want to use their first 3 letters as initial. So what do I need to do? Let's say I will come here. Let me freeze here. Let me freeze here so that okay. What is happening here? Why this? Okay. I want to be seeing the entire data sets here. So let's say I want to take the first 3 letters of this, or their first 2 letters as initials. So to do that, I can say equals to, I can type left, double click here. What is the text? This is the text, and then I put comma. What's the number of characters I'm looking for? I want to return 2 characters, and then I hit enter. That gives me AU. Now in that AU, if I double click down, you notice that this one here, there is no space, there is no value there, because there are spaces, and those spaces is character. So if I want to clear it, and then let's say here I want to use this to form an ID, to form ID, employee ID, staff ID. I want to use it to form staff ID, so that each staff, their country of origin, and that with their country of origin and ID makes up their staff ID. So with that, if I want to do that, what I can do is I will come to this. When I get to this, I can come here and say, I will come here and say trim. Now once I put trim there and put left, so what that is that whatever that I get here, I should trim it. Comma. Now let's say I want to join this one and this one. Please follow me. I'm going a bit a bit inside, a bit deep, a bit harder, a bit higher on this. Let's say I want to join this and the first two letters of this to make it the staff ID. I want to use this and then to make it the staff ID. So what I will do is I will come here in front of trim and put concat. So concat, this becomes my first stuff I'm joining. So when you trim, remove the space, this is, I want to get first two letters of this. When you get from here, remove any unwanted space. And whatever comes from it, please join it with this. So here, I don't need any space. If you want a space, if you want space here or underscore, for example, you can just come here, put this, and bring your underscore, close it, and then put comma, and enter this. So that way, we have combined three test functions in order to achieve a particular goal we have. So after we have done that, the next thing you check is how many brackets did you open. Here we open 1, 2, and 3. We are going to close 3 times. We have closed 1, so we are going to close this, and then finally we close the last one. That is a mathematical rule. The number of brackets you open, you must close. So that's where we hit enter. Says enter too many arguments for this function. Okay, let me remove this first. Why? Okay. If you are using Office 2024, you try this, it will go. If you are using Office 2024, what I'm using is 2021. If you are using Office 2024, try this, it will go. Let me remove this one. Let me remove this and remove this. Hit enter. Okay, I didn't complete the bracket, so let me say accept correction. All right, that works. So it will definitely, if you are using Office 2024, try it, it will go. Or let me try this. Let me do this. Let me try it this way. Let me say trim this, then close the bracket. If you trim it, bring the left. Let me check this. Bring the left. Now what's left? I need it to bring 2 out of it. Now close the brackets. Hit enter. Okay, this one gives me that. Okay, this covers it. So if we will use this pattern here, you trim first and then go for the left, trim this. Once you are done trimming, extract the first 2 from it. So the concat, now let's join it. Let's put the concat, double click here. Once you have trimmed this, remove this comma, join it with this for me. Then close the brackets and hit enter. Right, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. So by that, you can join the stuff together. That's what I'm looking for exactly. So with this, we can generate staff ID. And then what I did earlier, if you want a spacing, you can come here to put double quotation, put underscore, and put under double quotation, put comma, and then hit enter. That way you have stuff like this, and then you can, if you don't want underscore, you can put hash, you can put dash like this and hit enter. That way you have it like this, and then you double click to have stuff like this. So with that, you see UN, you know that this person is from United States, and EU, Australia, depending on the countries that are available in your data set. So that is what we can use left together with trim and concat to achieve. So each of them, when they stand alone, it looks as if we might not really need it or stuff like that. But when we start doing some manipulations, some transformations in our data set, we begin to see how we can use different of these functions together to achieve a common purpose. Okay, that's the left. The same way we do the left is the same way for right. Right returns the rightmost part, the rightmost of the text. So if we say equals to right, our time is going. Let me select Australia, come out, and I put 4. Hit enter. It returns earlier for me. So if I double click down, that's for the other ones. So that's the right. The need is a bit different from left and right. It returns the middle value based on your choice, based on what you selected, your choice. So how do we do that? We can say pause need. Okay, need. Then where do we start? Let's say in Australia we want to get only 3, for example. Now, if we want to get only 3, we select this test, comma, the start number, we want to start from 1, 2, 3, 4. That T stands is 4. In that test, I put 4. Then that's start number, comma, the number of character is 3. I want to return only TRA. That's what I want to return, only TRA. So I hit enter. It gives me the middle value. So whatever middle value you want, if you want to use the middle value the same way we use this to form a stuff that also will work. That is your choice as well. That is your choice. All right. We proceed. We move to find. And search. Now for find, let's say I'm going to make use of this. Please follow me. If I say equals to find, we use to find the number of value or character in the cell. So if I double click this find, it's asking me find what test. So if I put here A, for example, let me put small letter A, comma, and then put comma. Within what test, I select this. Now I'm not going to, the other ones are up, the other one is optional, and then hit enter. Now what you notice that it gives me 6. Pay attention, please. Pay attention. Let me do the same thing. Let me use search to do the same. If I say equals to, I want to search, I look at search. Find what test, I'm using the same stuff. I'm using A, and use a comma within what text the same and hit enter. You see what we have here, it gives me 1. Why did it give me 1? Why? It gives me 1 simple because find is case sensitive. When we talk about find, is case sensitive. Find is case sensitive. When we talk about find, is case sensitive. Please, let's pay attention on that. But search is not case sensitive. Search is not. Find is case sensitive. Search, not case sensitive. Search is not case sensitive. So what that entails is that when I use find here and I said A, the first letter A here, it ignores it because this is capital letter A, but what it's searching for is small letter a, lowercase. So it will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's where it sees the small letter A for the first aspect. Then that's why it returns 6. Whereas the same search here, which I use still small letter A, comes here and see A first. So anytime anywhere it sees A, whether it's alpha, whether it's uppercase or lowercase, it will recognize it. So search and find are the same approach but different objective. Let's take note of that. The same approach but different objective. I have zoomed it. If you notice, I'm working on 140% is zoomed already. If you notice, I'm working on 140%. Now it's on 160. Okay. Now that is the aspect of the search and the one of find. They are the same approach but different objective. This one is looking, this one is case sensitive, but this one is not case sensitive. I hope that is clear. All right. Now replace. Replace. Can we hear me, please? Is Ignatius, is it okay for you? Is Ignatius, is the screen a bit okay for you now? You can see it clearly. So for replace, I'm rushing to see if I can do the logical, but oh my God. Ignatius, can you respond, please? Is it okay for us? Guys, can we see the screen a bit? I have zoomed it. Can you see it a bit more? Is it okay? It's already after 10. Yeah, I know you can hear me. Someone is saying to zoom to zoom it a little more. Can we, is it okay for us now? All right, beautiful. Yes, we can. Yes, okay. Now, replace. Replace. Let's take, for example, This John here, we want to change it to Jane. Or this Yang here, we want to change it to how will I put it now? We want to change it to, oh my God. Okay, let's use this one that makes sense. We want to change this John to Jane. Maybe it's a mistake. It's not John, it's Jane. All right, let's say it's not John, it's Jane. So what do? We use replace. The old text is this. We say comma, start number. We want to start from O. J is okay, Jane and John is okay. So we are starting with O. The start number is 2. The start number is 2. Then number of characters, let me say the number of character we want to replace is 2. We want to replace 2 characters, and then it's asking us to write the new one we want. So we want to put in A-N-E. That, I think that's the correct spelling, and then we close the quotation, close the parentheses, and we hit enter. Now automatically it replaces O-N with J-N-E. That's what we have. So that's, if you drag down, you will see it will be for the other one, this and this will be replaced with A-N-E. So it doesn't make sense to drag it down. Okay, that is for replace. That is for replace. Now let's quickly look at substitute. I'm rushing it a bit so that we can at least finish math and test function this night. And Are we on now? Please confirm if we are on. Confirm, please. Confirm if we are on. We are about to round up. At least we have gotten to the last. We are about to round up. This is the last for the claim for the test function. Please confirm if we are on now. Please confirm if we are on, please. If you can hear me, drop in the chat. All right, beautiful, beautiful. And please let me know where you stop hearing me. I guess that should be on substitute. Is the same? I guess that should be on substitute. Where do you stop hearing me so that I explain we wrap up tonight's section? Are you sure it's a replace? Are you serious? Actually, are you sure it's a replace? Seriously? Wow. Okay. I'm going to go over replace again. Yeah, somebody says substitute. I think it's substitute, but let's let me go over them again. Let me run them again. Let me run over them again. Okay. I said, let's take for example this John here. I want to replace it. Let's say this John here. I want to replace it with John. Now the other one I use Jane. Now let's say this one I want to replace it with John. So I say here equals to replace. Double click here. Old test, I select this. Start number. Old test, I select this, comma. Start number, I'm starting from 2 because John, and this is John, this is John. The John I'm talking about is Jon, John. So what do I want to replace? I want to just remove this O and put, okay, yes. Remove the O and put OH. Remove the O and put OH. So what is the start? You look at here, you see old test. That's what I selected. This is the old test. Then comma is now asking the start number. Where do you want me to start replacing? I want to start from 2. How many number of character? Now number of character do you want me to replace? If I start from 2, what's the number of character do you want to replace? I put comma, I want you to replace only 1. That's O. That's the O character, and then put comma, number, then put in the new test. If I remove O from it, what do you want me to put in? I put it under quotation, put 0H. 0H. And then close it, hit enter. Automatically it returns John for me. So it replaces O with OH. That is for the replace. Then the substitute is that you can remove this entirely and then replace it with J. So that's where we come here, the substitute. Let me run it again. Let me run it again. Now we are starting it. Asks us what is the old test for substitute. This is the old test. I click on it, select, put comma, and then it's asking me type that old test. That old test, I want you to type it. I put on double quotation here and put in Yang, then put comma here. Then it's asking the new test. What's the new test? I say Jane, close this quotation, close the parentheses, hit enter. Now, what you see here is it returns Yang. Why? Why did it return Yang here? Because this is what I use. The old text, you didn't see the old text. Now let me change it. Let me now change it to cap letter and then hit enter. It sees the Yang and then return it with Jane. Jane in small letter. So if I change this and put it like this, hit enter, everything is okay. Now the next thing is if I come here, double click down, all stuff here remains Jane. Now why this, what I was explaining earlier, is that why substitute is okay is that when you drag it down, it will search under this, because this is the source of the value here. It will search under this. Anywhere you see Yang, it will return Jane. So if, for example, if you didn't see Yang, if you didn't see Yang, it will return the value here. It will return any value it sees here, it will return it. Now let's take, for example, here, let's say this one here is Yang, and then hit enter. Now you see automatically, where am I? Okay, this didn't get up to this place. I'm not sure it's okay. This is, we are okay. As you can see here, this now is Jane. So anywhere it sees Yang, it will change it to Jane. Anywhere I see Yang, it changes to Jane. Okay, that is for substitute. Now clean is used to remove non-printable characters. Clean in data in Excel is used to remove non-printable characters. Remove non-printable. So most times you might not even use it, depending on the data set, non-printable characters. For example, if I have if I say equals to clean, and let me select this, hit enter. There is no non-printable character. But that's how we work. That's actually, it's very simple. Just select that place, clean. When you get a data set from online, and it comes with, some of them comes with icons, all these icon emojis, non-printable characters, just select on that particular text. Any non-printable character, that's all. You hit enter, that will remove. That will remove. By tomorrow, I will check if I will see any data set in that light and give us that as example. Okay. Now is on this note that we have come to the end of tonight's section. I was hoping to get to logical function this night, but we couldn't do that. By God's grace, tomorrow we will be able to do logical function, lookup, then finish up date and error handling function. Okay, that is where we will wrap up tonight's section. Now for the final attendance, your name and your scholarship ID. Someone is saying I can't hear you. I think I'm audible. My mic is on. All right, now drop your name, your location, your scholarship ID, and let me know how is tonight's section. How is tonight's class? How is tonight's section? Even though we had a bit of network glitch at the start, but we're able to stay through that one. How is the section this night? Remember your name, your scholarship ID, your location. What have you learned tonight? What functions, what tricks have you been able to? How is the section? Name your scholarship ID, that much appreciated. Tonight.